Hey folks, what's going on? How you doing? How you doing? Man, okay, so, excuse me. Negro Forts. Alright, you gotta think about how the Titanic plates fit together, and there was just one big ass plot of land. Alright, and through catastrophic events, the continents are formed. Sometime in between there, people from Africa had ventured out and began to get settled in all these different continents, whether by boat or whether by feet. Alright, I had searched for the question of why did people leave Africa? Lucy is a movie that I like to watch. Morgan Freeman's in it. And his role is, he did study, did research, but he said that basically single-celled organisms, or basically there's two type of environments. There's an environment that is chaotic, and our cells, our beginnings, our evolution comes from that chaotic environment. We will evolve to survive in that environment. And whenever we are in that environment, we are thinking about our mortality. Alright? Then there's another environment that's comfortable, and we feel like we can thrive. And when we are in those environments, our evolution goes towards reproduction. Okay? Now, that should make sense. Skip forward to now, present day. We are in a we are in a technical world. So, in this technical world, we still have to deal, well, not still, but we have to deal with the issue of being able to evolve into a people that are happy, are comfortable. Alright? We're already reproducing, and we're already adapted to live in this chaotic world as it is. The problem is that you have chaotic people walking amongst the people who are trying to live in peace. Now, I've made a lot of videos giving the idea of what we might be able to do in order to live in peace. And it goes back to, or it goes to the idea of developing a community of people that are willing to thrive, are willing to work together. Now, I came across this video, and if I didn't mention it in the beginning of this video, 2 words, Negro Fort. Most definitely, I'm going to mention it now. This video is telling the facts, the stories behind a community in Florida that created a fort that had a moat on the outside, and these Africans, these melanated people, thrived together as a community. Everyone had their roles, and everyone stayed in their own lane, and by doing that, they were able to sustain, reproduce, and evolved for the time that they existed. Best believe that whoever conquered that civilization had the numbers and had the weaponry to do it. Whenever you have the numbers and advanced weaponry, you can do just about anything with that. It's like balling up a fist and knocking somebody out. Okay? Now, I'm not playing the volume on this because I'm hoping that you'll take the time to come back to this video. I'm going to leave the title and the link in the description. But, like I said, I've made videos where I've talked about how we should try, at least try, to make these communities of people that have the who are thinking alike. Okay, think about, you have elementary schools, you have middle schools, you have high schools, you have private schools, you have some schools that go from kindergarten all the way up to high school. And that's not so bad, as long as you're teaching the right stuff. I personally hated school because it got to the point where school was just an escape to get away from home. And whatever they was teaching me in school wasn't going to help me in the work field that I wanted to be in. I knew at a young age that I wanted to be a cook. That the only thing that could help me in cooking is math and science. But the rest of the stuff, nah. Well, art as an elective, home ec as an elective. I took up architecture as an elective, but the rest of the stuff, it wasn't going to help me. There was an economics course that I took, but that was going way over my head, especially when they started talking about Wall Street, stocks and bonds. I was like, man, what the fuck? So anyway, I think schools should teach kids how to find who they are as an individual, how to find the talents that they have, and how to create a future based off of what they are gifted with by birth. Through birth, we're born gifted gifted in certain talents. Um, Back in the day, they used to have wood shops in the school. They used to have mechanic shops in the school. You know, they used to have cooking in the school, but they took all that stuff out. So anyway, my ideas was like, look, you have housing, and in order to live in that housing, there's agreements that you have to make. There's schooling for kids, schooling for adults. It's two different buildings. You know, K through 12 is one building, and then you have a tech school. The reason why I say a tech school is because in that community, if you have a warehouse to manufacture goods, you can use those goods within your own community, and you can also use those goods as trade. And, or not trade, but, you know, as a surplus. Well, I guess you can do trade as well, you know what I'm saying? But as far as import, export goes, as far as making money, you know what I'm saying? You use that warehouse to produce, manufacture whatever you need. Alright? Now, I always go back to primitive thinking. Windmills. Windmills, you can use windmills to create energy. You can use windmills to, as an engine for water wheels. You can use windmills as the energy, the motor, you know what I'm saying, for digging. I came to the realization, to the understanding with a conversation that I had with my family the other day. And, you know, when we talk about water, you know, it's fucked up that we gotta pay for water. So if you're in a location where the water table is not too deep under your community, well, then you have well water. Then you have to find a way to make sure that there's no contaminants so that no one gets sick. And you have to survey the area miles away from you to make sure that there's no textiles, there's no other manufacturers dumping, you know, poisons into the earth, and, you know, it gets washed into your groundwater. Alright, the world is not fucked up yet, so we're still getting rain. So if we have a way of collecting rainwater as a reserve, at least, then we have water from that. I watched videos on how you can dig holes in the ground to make, you know, like, and throw some leaves in there, and in the center of that you have a water collection, a vessel to collect water. What you do from there is you put a tarp on top of it to seal off the edges, and in the center of that tarp you put like a little weight, so that way the evaporation will go up to the tarp and will go towards the center where the weight is, and it'll all drip down into the vessel. That's one way of getting water, producing water. But, you know, you gotta have security. You have to have, you have to have, in order to survive, You gotta have food, you have to have water, you have to have shelter, you have to have security, and you have to have a way of, like fire, a source of heat. You have to have a source of something to keep you cool. So those are six things that you need to survive. And it branches off. There's more, because you also need to have things to keep you motivated, to keep you happy. You know what I'm saying? So in your community, you know, you have to have people who are wanting to work together. You know, I remember when they say, or used to say, that it takes a village to raise a child. And I also remember how if you got in trouble down the street, by the time you got home, your parents already knew what you had done down the street. So you're getting chastised as you're heading home, and you get punished when you get home. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of parents that have that raise their children differently. There's really no good book on how to raise your child, because kids are individuals. They take on the traits of their parents, but at the end of the day, they're still going to be their own individual person. Now, what you put into their minds, you know what I'm saying, is going to be up to them to make sense of it, but they're going to need your help as a parent. It's a tough job. When I was growing up, and I realized that I was being raised up around a lot of contradiction, a lot of hypocrisy. I hate that do as I say, but don't do what I do type shit. It's like, yo, if it's good enough for you to do it, what's wrong with me doing it? You know what I'm saying? That was my way of thinking. And so it got to a point where I was like, man, I don't want to bring any kids into this world, not unless I was emotionally secure, financially secure, and if I was wise enough to do that, but I also needed a mate, a partner that was equal to me on those levels. So that way we could give our children the best tools to be the best people they could be. So when you have a community of people who are trying to be the best people they can be, you know, it's like, fuck city-state assistance. You know, motivate other people to want to live the best life that they can live by being an example. Sometimes, you know, people look at you and they're like, you know, they need to see action because talk is cheap. But, you know, watching videos like this one that I just showed you, or that we just looked at, you know, it's like, man, it worked before. And if it worked before, it can work again. You know, I try to look for answers, and I watch different documentaries. You know, earlier today, I was watching videos on brown folks in Germany. I don't have those tabs open right now. What was this? Oh, that was a comedy special that I wanted to check out. But yeah, earlier I was watching some documentaries on brown folks who lived in Germany during the reign of the Nazis, and I was intrigued, but I was kind of shocked, but I was learning some things, and I remember, watching movies or watching documentaries about the Vietnam War and how the Vietnamese would leave letters, saying, you know, um, black men go home, this is not your war. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, sometimes to get the best information is to go outside of this country. But it's hard to do that because people who are at the top, who don't want the truth out there, they're getting rid of information. They're really getting rid of information. So the best thing I can sit back and say now is knowledge is still the key to survive in this world. You gotta know who you are as an individual person. And then the people who are around you, you need to know who they are as well. It's one of those things where you can't put nothing past anybody else. Meaning, you don't know a person entirely, and they're willing and they are capable of surprising you to where you might not think that somebody's a killer. You never know. Push come to shove, they gonna kill. You know what I'm saying? Some people turn on family. Some people turn on friends. You just never know. But it's a good thing to be around other people. I myself, I have a small circle of people that I'm around, and it's an unconditional thing because it doesn't matter if a moment gets chaotic or not. My overall picture, my overall knowledge about the people that are around me is that the love is pure. And I hate when I fuck up on my end. I hate when I fuck up on my end. I really do. If I lived by myself, I would try to live as simple as I can. I would try to desire the smallest amount of things. As long as I got so many things taken care of, I'd be happy. I just want a simple life. And I don't desire a lot. It doesn't take a lot to make me happy. So, in a community, you gotta know the people around you, but you also gotta know who you are personally. And with that being said, it's like, this is my disclaimer. I'm not the smartest person in the world, and I'm not the dumbest person. I've done my research on some things, and there's a lot of things out there that I can still do research on, but I don't trust the shit that's out there because people taint it. People want you to know what they want you to know. History is broken down into his story. It's his story to tell. It's his story to give you the outlook of what they want you to perceive. And I can't trust that. But at some point in time, take a little bit of common sense and you take, a conspiracist type of approach to the information, and it makes you want to question it even more. So you still got to be careful either way it goes. But I'm gonna get off of here. To go on with my disclaimer, what I need you to do is to question everything that I'm talking about. Do your own research that you can trust and form your own opinions. And when you form your opinions, share it with other people, because you never know when somebody else is thinking on the same level that you're thinking on, or thinking about the same topics that you're thinking about, but they just don't have anybody else to talk to. And it's fucked up to feel like you're all alone in any type of situation, but especially when it's dealing with something that you have a passion for. And see, I have a passion for peace, love, harmony. Well, love, I put love third, but peace and harmony, you know what I'm saying, they're like equal. And, then comes love, basically. When you got peace and harmony, you got to be careful on who you love still, because somebody can come in and try to fuck up your peace and your harmony. I used to have this way of thinking to where I was like, man, I don't want nothing to jeopardize my happiness. But this universe and nature has a way of fucking with us. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things out of our control. So anyway, with that being said, I want you to have a good day. I want you to have a good night. I want you to have a good morning. Like I say, I'm going to put the link and the title of this video down in the description so you can listen to what they had to say. I don't like the production quality of the video, but I like the information that comes from the video. It makes me, I had to pause it a few times in order to look up some words that I didn't understand, and also get a better idea of what they had just said, that type of thing. So anyway, I remember before on a video, I had told folks that there was a point in time where I collected a lot of information when I was video blogging back in 2007, 2008. And wait a minute, hold on. Okay. It was stuff like 8 parts of speech, universal laws, phrases to use to help out arguments, a PDF on 100 years of lynching. It was something I watched on TV that talked about albinism, so I looked that up. You got the book At the Hands of Persons Unknown. I watched something that was talking about biomedical engineering. I had heard about black churches, and I wanted to dig into that. But it's the point that, you take notes and you try to save information. It's like, look at all these pages of words that I needed to look up because I just didn't, I didn't want to read something or watch something and not know the words that they were using. You know what I mean? So, when you get information, when you get some knowledge, you gotta do what you can do to save it. You know what I'm saying? Because you might not ever see it again. they'll take it off the internet, and it's just, when it's gone, it's gone. You have to be careful with your research, because when you search for something, best believe there's bots that'll flag it, and next thing you know, you're in somebody's database for the type of person that searches for this, or the type of person that searches for that. And when they find out what you're searching for, then they, as far as conspiracy goes, they can put in fake information. You know what I'm saying? Have you, clicking on the shit based off of what they want you to know. And it'll be a bunch of lies. Now, that's me thinking that. You know what I'm saying? That's me and my truth. Me and my belief. Thinking that, there's people out there that don't want me to be wise on this or wise on that. They don't want us as a people, as a minority. And when I say minority, I'm thinking of, you got the people who are in the group of haves, and you got people who are in the group of have-nots. And everyone in the have-nots is a minority. So anyway, I'm going to get off of this video, end of the year. But I want you to have a good day. I want you to have a good night. I want you to have a good morning. Peace.